Okay, hey Steve, it's Ed Winslow, and I just want to go through your website real quick and get you started in the right direction. So there's a couple things that I was looking at here, um, and you need some on-page optimization. That's number one, and that starts with keywords. I'm gonna go through a couple little things on your website that I noticed and where we need to head on this thing. Um, One thing I did notice here was I typed in the name of your firm, and the name your website doesn't even come up, so it's probably not indexed. But I did see that it looks like you have a Google Places, and let me just check one thing. Let me just see if you do come up a different way. Yeah, okay. So I'm scrolling through the first page, and yeah, you're not, Google is not indexing your website. You should be coming right up on top when you type in, you're based in New York City, um, right off the bat. Um, so, you've got a decent start here. And I looked at, areas of practice. And what I want to do is just run through some things that I noticed quickly. Now, when I go like this, if you right click on your home page or any page and you click view page source, it shows you the code. This is what Google sees. Okay. And, right off the bat, you can see that, there's this right here is called a title tag. That is the most important first thing on a page. This is what Google is reading to understand who you are and what you're about. And what it looks to me like is they're not indexing this site. It could be bad code, could be a number of things that need to be done. Um, and let's see, yeah, there's really, there's also what's called a meta description, and that's not showing up either. So let me just do a quick look here. Meta. So you can see in the upper right, okay, let's see, under meta. Yeah, see, the meta description follows the title tag, and it's not showing really much. Okay, okay, about the firm. Works diff, yeah. It's not hitting the keywords the right way. So anyway, this is what needs to be done on every page. I noticed that if we go over to like areas of practice, um, you've got to start. I can see what you're doing, but this really needs to be broken down, and it needs to start with keywords that people are searching for, and the page needs to be laid out if you want it to produce for you, if you want it to rank. But one of the things that I'm seeing here is that even if somebody is going to do some research on you, let's say even if you're not doing an optimization strategy, your website should still come up, and you should have some testimonials, you should have some reviews so that people can see that you're credible. And we could talk about that. I can help you with that too. But anyway, you can see on this page here, again, if I click the page source, um, see areas of practice, no keywords. It's got your company name, but again, it's not. Let's go in and take a look at the meta, and the meta. Uh, yeah, there's no meta description here. So right off the bat, these are some immediate problems that are on every page of your site. This is something that needs to be taken care of. And let me just go through some things that is really needed to start figuring out what are the right keywords to go after. So one of the first things before, really, this is what I do before I start with anybody, is we start out looking at main categories, and business law, for example, and you can see what um, Google. This is called Google Suggest. These are suggested keyword phrases. And what we do is, if you type in business law and you type in the letter A, um, you can see words that people that Google is suggesting, like okay, if we start with the letter B, that doesn't help. C, chapter 1, that doesn't help. D, uh, E, exam, and F. But you know what? This is one that I know, um, that is something that maybe should be looked at, like business law for accountants. Always for something, because really, this becomes a really long-term strategy, where you could start writing blog posts that are optimized, and we can get into that later. But business law for accountants, business law for entrepreneurs, and it can be very specific. So let's say if we want to go A, accountants, business law for accountants, business law for beginners. Okay, that's actually sort of interesting. If I mean, down the road, you could turn this into, maybe you want to create an ebook or something like that. Dummies, entrepreneurs. Okay, so that's interesting. Business law for entrepreneurs. That really opens up a lot of ideas. Okay, and so we see that that's a keyword phrase that Google is suggesting. Okay, fireworks. Business law for fireworks. Interesting. G, that's not helping us. H, uh, anyway, you can see where I'm headed with this. So we want to go through this process. Again, we can do the same thing for employment law. Whoops, let me see. I'm sorry here. Yeah, employment law for, let's go A, agency workers. I don't know what that means, but you might. Let's see, B, for business. I don't know what that means. C, business employment law for churches and charities. Wow, that's sort of interesting. And contract workers and casual workers. Okay, that's starting to get a little bit deeper. For employment law for doctors. I don't know if any of this applies, but these are the kind of things that people are searching for. Getting very niche specific and having a strategy for targeting niches is really the way to go online. But you really need to think about that up front. You need to put together a strategy and a plan that is achievable, for foreign workers, for fixed-term contracts, for freelancers, for flexible working. See, now we're getting into, okay, so employment law. That's pretty interesting. We're getting a lot of really good keywords here. G, H, human resource practice. H, let's go under I. Interns, injury at work. Okay, ooh, that's interesting. J, let's see, K, I don't know what that is. Okay, L, line managers. Uh, M, managers, manager training, from employment law for maternity leave. I'm sure that's a big topic. Uh, Nonprofit organizers, new managers, night shift workers, nannies. Okay, so now this is getting employment law. This is really looking to be something that could really become something valuable. Let's look under P, and physicians, pregnant workers, paralegals, part-time workers. Okay, this is really getting good. And I've never done this before in this market, but you can see where I'm headed with this. QR, religious organizations, recruitment agencies. Wow, this is really getting deep. RS, supervisors, small businesses. Okay, so ST, truck drivers and teachers and temporary workers. I mean, this is real. Okay, employment law for something very specific. See, this is really where you can capitalize online by getting very niche specific, knowing what is the right. See, employment law might be a more valuable keyword phrase to target than business law. I'm not sure yet. But this is what we need. This is really where we need to start. This is the discovery phase. This is really the most important part of getting a website to rank and put together a strategy, Once you've got the strategy and you've got your focus and you've got something that is, like let's say you're going to update the site every week with a new blog post. You've got to have a strategy. If you don't have a targeted strategy, you're going to quit. Everybody does. It's the same problem that everybody's got. It's like if you don't know where the direction is, but Google is telling us, um, they're telling you what people are looking for. Okay, and this is just real quick. I mean, I've never done this before. Let's go over to Amazon. Um, okay, let's go over to Amazon and let's look under books. And let's look and see. This is really a good discovery too. Employment law. Okay. So let's look and see, are there some employment law, quick study law, essential guide to federal employment laws? I mean, okay, so employment law for business. So what I like to look at is I like to use Amazon as a guide to what kind of content has been written and what's in demand. Um, and right here, for example, now this one looks like a pretty good book because it's got 50 reviews, and that's really good. But we might want to go in, we want to get even deeper and more niche specific, because the reason I use Amazon is Amazon tells us what people are willing to pay for. They're searching for something, they're searching for information, and they're paying for it. And when you look at the higher amount of reviews, you can see what people want, and you want to build your business around what people want. And if you do that when they're doing searches, and you've got a very very specific direction. Now you can give an overview with lots of different services, but you can get deeper niche with your blog posts. So strategic. I mean, okay. So here are relevant books: Strategic Compensation. Let's see, 89. Okay, that's interesting. 89 reviews. This one here's got 13 reviews. Staffing organizations. So you can see that staffing is very important. Employee training and development, 115 reviews. So all of a sudden, we're starting to see that there's a lot more where the engagement is. That's really, really key. This is really the direction you want to go. You want to get in front of what people want. That's so important. Uh, okay. Okay. So there's other key. So this is really the first part of the whole process. I mean, it's like, this is the first thing. So we've looked at your website. We can see the topics that you're focused on. We started looking at a few keywords to determine a little bit of a direction. Then we went over to Amazon and we started to look at some books. Now we could also go over to YouTube and do some keyword search over there to see if there are any specific videos that are really highly searched, and that'll give us a more direction. So now we're putting you right in front of the market. Now you're just not an attorney in the broad business law, employment law world. You're now developing an information resource that is going to help, that is keyword driven. So when people are doing searches and they come to your site, you're just not like this big fluff like all the other law firms out there. You're very, very specific. This is what's going to make the difference for your business. So I'm just going to wrap this video up, but you can see that this is this is really the direction. This is really the first step. You've got a website, it's got some seasoning, but the on-page stuff needs to be laid out. But you start with keywords, you start with a direction, then you lay out your individual pages. I'm just going to show you something really quick. Okay, this is a website that I own, and it's up in the Boston area. I've targeted a couple, like up in Massachusetts, I really dominate the market, and I'm expanding this site, nationwide. But you see what I did here was here's one page. Now it's called epoxy. It's for epoxy flooring, but it could be under employment law. And look at how I broke it down. You see, I break everything down, subtopics based on keywords. Look at how many keywords, garage floors, basement floors, showroom floors, commercial kitchens. These you could follow the same strategy for employment law and business law and you know and you can see them. It's basically the same information, or a lot of information, just broken down very, very deep. Additional services. Look at all these. Like, you read this page, and now you've got so many different topics, all based on keywords that people are searching for. Now I've got a long-term strategy. I don't have to think through this. All I have to do is go and look at all my topics, and this becomes a long-term blog strategy. I've already got it all done. I've got it done up front. I've already done the due diligence in the very beginning. So, what we want to do is we want to do the same thing with your business, and it really doesn't take that long. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap up this video. You get the point, and hope this is helpful to you.